I saw a cat in my neighborhood doing a backflip. I got a little closer and heard its thoughts. If cat learns to do a backflip, mom will come home with cat. I suspected I'd had too much to drink and was hearing things. The next second, the little cat was rubbing furiously against my pant leg, rolling around next to me, and purring loudly. This isn't right, Big Tabby said. All humans fall for this. Why isn't mom moved? Worried the cat would freeze in the night, I had no choice but to carry it around, looking for its owner floor by floor. Finally, we entered a building, and the cat jumped down and pressed the elevator button itself. Then it trotted pat 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 ahead of me to a door and stopped as I knocked, only to find myself face to face with my aloof boss. The little cat stood there, chest puffed out. Dad, cat brought mom home. You don't have to stare at that little black box every day anymore. When I saw a cat doing a backflip in the dead of night, I really thought I should just go home to bed. I'd just left a work dinner, my head was spinning, and now I was even hallucinating. Curiosity got the better of me, and I crept closer. Then I heard a strange voice. If cat learns to do a backflip, mom will come home with cat. I looked around, but there was no one there. Who was talking? The next second, the little cat was rubbing furiously against my pant leg, rolling around beside me, exposing its white belly. It was purring its little heart out. I looked at it, puzzled. Little cat, what's wrong? Do you have fleas? The strange voice piped up again. This isn't right, Big Tabby said. All humans fall for this. Why isn't mom moved? Who was Big Tabby? Could it be that stray tabby I often fed nearby? So, this voice was coming from the little cat? But its mouth wasn't moving. So, it was its thoughts. I squatted down in front of the cat that it wasn't actually that small. A chubby golden shaded cat. It looked like a fluffy loaf of bread. Too fat to be a stray. So I petted its head. Little cat, are you lost? Can't find your way home? I don't know if the cat understood, but it meowed twice. Mom's hands are warm, cat likes being petted. I couldn't help but smile. Little cat, do you like it when I pet you? Suddenly, the cat stared at me with its big, round eyes. How does mom know cat likes being petted? Can mom hear cat's thoughts? My hand froze that I hadn't expected the cat to be so sharp. A cold wind blew, making me shiver. Worried the cat would get cold, I scooped it up in both hands. Come on, I'll help you find your owner. There were a lot of buildings in the complex that we walked past, several without any luck. Carrying the cat around was like a weighted march in boot camp. I was so tired the alcohol had worn off. Just 2 more buildings. That if we can't find your home, you're coming home with me. Mom's embrace is so warm. Cat's getting sleepy. No, stay awake. Cat has to bring mom home. As soon as we entered a building, the cat jumped out of my arms and padded into the elevator. I followed it in and saw that the button for the 8th floor was lit up. I looked at it, surprised. Did you press that? On the 8th floor, the cat strolled out confidently, and I followed close behind. It stopped, and I took the hint and knocked on the door. The door opened. And there I was, face to face with my new, aloof boss. The cat stood tall, tail held high. Dad, cat brought mom home. You don't have to stare at that little black box every day anymore. My new, aloof boss was named Evan. He was also a senior from my college days. 2 years ahead of me. Unfortunately, just as I was settling into campus life, he was about to graduate. I had a crush on him back then, and he'd even given me some hope. But in his senior year, he suddenly took a leave of absence and vanished. When I asked the professors, they just said he had family matters. Later, I graduated, found a job as expected, and we hadn't been in touch for years. Until the beginning of this month, when he suddenly transferred to our company as a project manager. Aside from work, we didn't have much contact. I thought we'd both moved on from the past. But then this strange cat appeared, calling me mom and Evan dad. And what was the little black box? His phone? Was Evan looking at me on his phone? Why? Evan looked at me, astonished. Katie, what are you doing here? Am I dreaming? To prove it wasn't a dream, the cat, like a furry little truck, charged and knocked Evan over. I instinctively rushed to help him up. Evan, are you okay? Evan rubbed his head and looked at the cat beside him. I'm fine, Custard, didn't I just give you a bath tonight? How did you get so dirty? The cat looked utterly disappointed in him. Cat went out to find Mom, of course. If it weren't for Cat, Dad would take 100 years to bring Mom home. So, the cat had snuck out while Evan was asleep and waited for me in the neighborhood. Now I understood. I suppressed a laugh and told Evan. Looks like Custard went out to play tonight, that I saw him when I was passing by and helped him look for his owner. That he's pretty smart, though, he knows his way home. Evan's eyes widened in realization. Oh, so that's what happened, thanks so much, Katie. I stood up briskly. Well, since Custard's home, I should get going too. The cat bit onto the corner of my shirt and wouldn't let go, its grip like a Siberian pit viper. Dad's a blockhead. Cat has to keep Mom here. Evan was also startled by its sudden behavior. Custard, what's wrong with you? Why are you being so rough today? Stop misbehaving. But the stubborn cat didn't release its hold, creating a standoff. Evan sighed. Katie, why don't you just stay tonight? It's already late, and it's not safe to go out. Custard seems to really like you, and I have 2 bedrooms. I glanced at the cat again and decided to go along with its plan. Okay, I guess I'll stay tonight then. Custard finally let go, leaving 2 holes in my blouse. Evan looked guilty and promised. I'm sorry, Custard doesn't know any better. I'll buy you a new one. It's okay, this one wasn't expensive. I've had it for years. Before I fell asleep, I vaguely heard the cat's last little thought. Tomorrow, Mom can go hunting with Dad. Early the next morning, I walked into the living room to find Evan already dressed and waiting for me at the dining table. The table was laden with a dazzling array of breakfast foods. Evan smiled gently. I wasn't sure what you like to eat these days, so I bought a bit of everything. It felt a bit like a dream morning. But things had changed, and so much time had passed that I no longer dared to hope for such things. I slowly walked over and pulled out a chair. My tastes haven't really changed. Evan paused. Really? That's great. The cat trotted out, pat pat pat. Like a king surveying his subjects. Why are they sitting so far apart? Dad is so clueless. Cat is worried sick about Dad. After breakfast, Evan gave me a ride to work, thoughtfully dropping me off at the last traffic light. When I got to the office, my colleague Alex asked me, Katie, what did you have for breakfast? I thought about the spread Evan had bought and picked the most common item. Pork pies. Why, do I smell like them? The next second, Alex remarked. Mr. Miller had those too. Did I ask everyone into pork pies lately? I accidentally made eye contact with Evan and noticed his face was flushed. He also kept looking at me with a hint of a smile. Ever since I could hear the cat's thoughts, I felt strange around Evan. Part of me wondered if Evan actually liked me. Another part of me couldn't help but feel a thrill at the possibility. But we were both adults now. This kind of innocent romance felt a bit out of place. I pulled out my phone and texted Evan. I need to ask you something in the break room later. Okay. We were adults. That if he liked me, he should just say so. When he arrived, I turned to face him. I mustered my courage. Actually, when I was a freshman, I liked you. That I didn't know what you thought back then, and then you disappeared in your sophomore year. Finding Custard yesterday made me feel like maybe there's still some fate between us, so I wanted to ask your opinion. This time, not only Evan's face but also his neck turned bright red. His ears too. Was he shy? When Evan opened his mouth, his voice was a bit hoarse. My opinion? I nodded. Yes, that if you like me too, we could try dating again or something. That if you're not interested, then we can just. Suddenly, Evan, all 6 feet of him, slumped onto me. I instinctively reached out to catch him, only to realize he was burning up like a furnace. I suddenly understood, he wasn't shy at all, he was just feverish. His half-smiling gaze at me was probably because his vision was blurry from the fever, making him stare into the distance. He hadn't eaten much that morning, just a little plain porridge, I think. I'd thought he just had a poor appetite, but in hindsight, I realized a grown man wouldn't eat so little. I slapped my forehead and immediately called an ambulance to take him to get an 4 drip. When we got him on the ambulance, his fever was almost 104 degrees. During that time, Evan deliriously called my name, and I reached out and held his hand. Evan, I'm here. I'm right here. What's wrong? After the 4, his temperature dropped to around 98. The nurse instructed us. Don't let him get chilled again tonight, take the fever reducer we just prescribed, eat something light, and if the fever comes back tomorrow, bring him in for another 4. I supported Evan all the way, and he never pushed me away. But when I looked up at him, the tips of his ears started turning red again. So, I said sternly. Evan, don't avoid medical treatment. If you're not feeling well, you need to say so immediately. Evan paled and tried to argue. I'm not uncomfortable right now. I narrowed my eyes at him. Then why are your ears red again? He turned his head to avoid my gaze, and I forcefully turned his shoulders back. Let me see, quick. I placed my hand on his forehead and only relaxed when I confirmed he wasn't feverish anymore. Then why are your ears so red? Evan cleared his throat and said quietly. This is the first time I've been this close to you. I'm very nervous. I glanced down at my arm linked with his and raised an eyebrow. Oh. Why nervous? Evan mumbled, his voice extremely low. My heart's beating so fast, I can barely take it. What did you say? You're buzzing like a mosquito. I couldn't hear you. When we got home that evening, Custer trotted pat 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 to greet us. Seeing Evan leaning on me, the cat had a mischievous look. Cat stole Dad's blanket last night, so Dad shivered with cold. Dad got sick, so Mom will come take care of Dad. I let go of Evan and instead picked up the cat to question it. Alright, so this was your doing, huh? You're the one who made your dad sick. Soft-hearted Evan stopped me. Katie, don't blame Custer. He's just a little cat. He didn't do it on purpose. What did he mean? He didn't understand. I could see right through that cat. Still, I warned it. Don't do this kind of thing again, your dad will feel awful if he's sick. Then, I cleared my throat and added. Besides, even if you hadn't done that, I would have stayed. Cat got scolded by Mom, Cat feels wronged. Cat is sad, but Cat won't say it. Fish cries, water knows, Cat cries, who knows? While Evan went to the bedroom to change, I couldn't resist trying to make peace with the little cat. Mommy, I wasn't scolding you. I just hope we can get along better and healthier in the future, you know? Hearing it say Mom so much had almost made me slip up. Custard's eyes widened. Mom agreed to be Cat's mom? Not exactly. In just a few minutes, Evan came out, having even washed his hair. His voice held a smile. What are you two talking about? I put the cat down and turned to lecture Evan. You're still sick, how could you wash your hair? What if that makes your fever come back? With that, I pulled Evan over to help him blow dry his hair. That night, unsurprisingly, I stayed at his place again. I only moved back to my own apartment after Evan's fever had completely gone. One day, Evan sent me a video of Custard playing with a ball. I was just about to reply when someone knocked on my door. Who is it? Delivery. The voice sounded a bit familiar, but I didn't think much of it. Remembering I did have a package coming, I opened the door. When I saw who it was, my breath hitched. Just as I was about to slam the door, he slipped inside. Katie, long time no see. The person who barged into my apartment was my ex-boyfriend, Mark. We met during our senior year while studying for grad school exams. He was very diligent back then, and we often ran into each other at the library. Eventually, we exchanged contact information. After we got together, his true colors showed. He was always putting me down, and he was so afraid I'd compete with him that he even tried to secretly change my university application. Luckily, I found out in time and changed it back. But in my fury, I broke up with him and blocked and deleted him everywhere. I hadn't seen him in years. I had no idea how he'd found my place. While talking to Mark, I secretly took out my phone and sent my location to Evan. How did you find me here? Mark wore black-rimmed glasses and looked presentable, but his heart was dark. A few days ago, I saw you getting out of some other guy's car when you were crossing the street. That I thought you had a new boyfriend. That I've been following you home from work today and just found out that's not the case. I glared at him coldly. So you've been stalking me? Mark's laugh was sharp and grating. I never agreed to break up back then, so technically, you're still my girlfriend. Can following your own girlfriend be called stalking? I said flatly. A relationship needs two people to agree to start, but only one person needs to say it's over for it to end. So, we broke up a long time ago. I don't know what I said that set him off, but Mark's face twisted. If you hadn't tried to snatch that spot from me back then, we both could have gotten into good universities. You just had to compete with me. Weren't we a couple? Why did you have to be so selfish? That year, he scored 5 points lower than me and didn't get in. The following year, his performance was poor, and he still didn't make it. I never expected him to blame me for everything. But he seemed mentally unstable now. I couldn't provoke him. Mark, what happened back then is long over. There's no need to discuss it now. Mark looked at me meaningfully, his eyes glinting darkly. It is indeed over. After all these years, I still can't forget you. That's why fate guided me back here to meet you again. With that, he started inspecting my apartment as if he owned the place. That I watched where he walked, planning to wipe everything down. No, better make that twice. Suddenly, my phone rang. Katie, what floor are you on? Custard and I are downstairs. Mark snatched the phone from me. That he saw the contact name and sneered. You even called for backup? The next second, my phone was smashed against the wall, the screen shattering, the interface instantly dead. Mark's hand was on my throat. Katie, I'm very satisfied with this apartment. If you agree to get back together with me, I'll let you go right now. I made a muffled sound. He leaned closer to listen, his grip loosening slightly. What did you say? I said, dream on. I struggled fiercely, then gathered my strength and kicked him in the groin. He cried out in pain, and I stumbled towards the door to open it. Around the corner, I saw a yellow cat head gradually approaching me. It was Custard. Custard had followed the scent all the way to the 10th floor, with Evan close behind. Mom, don't be afraid. Cat is here to save Mom. My home security camera syncs with my phone. After Evan tied Mark up, I packaged all the evidence and took it to the police station. When the gag was pulled from Mark's mouth, he pleaded his case. Officer, I'm innocent. I'm really not a creep. Katie is my girlfriend. We just had a little spat. I scoffed. We broke up years ago. Don't try to drag me into this. I added slowly. Also, you broke my phone, bruised my neck, trespassed, damaged my property, intentionally injured me, and stalked me. Officer, please don't let him off easy with all these charges combined. Suddenly, Mark came up with another twisted idea, turning the tables. It's because she cheated on me. That other guy is her affair partner. That I acted impulsively because of that. Officer, you're a man, you should understand, right? Evan frowned, his eyes sharp. Do you have any proof of cheating? Besides, when were you two together? And do you even know when we first met? On the way to the police station, I'd quickly explained what happened. So Evan knew Mark couldn't produce any evidence. But Mark wasn't intimidated, asking him provocatively. If you two knew each other so long ago, why didn't you get together? Was it because you weren't good enough? Finally, the police officer, who hadn't spoken for a while, finished watching the security footage. Ms. Evans, we will definitely give you a resolution on this matter, please rest assured. I looked at him gratefully. As Mark was being led away in handcuffs, he didn't forget to shout. Isn't domestic violence treated leniently? We were just fooling around, officer. On the way back to my place, Evan gripped the steering wheel tightly, his expression unreadable. I thought he was worried about me, so I spoke up. It's okay, the police will ensure justice is served. Don't worry. After a moment, he spoke again. I'm sorry, Katie. That it was my fault for leaving without a word back then. This was indeed an invisible wall between us. If he didn't explain, we couldn't move forward. But I waited a long time, and he still didn't say anything more. As soon as I got home, the cat eagerly approached. Cat protected Mom. Isn't Cat amazing? I squatted down to pet the cat, praising it sincerely. You're so amazing, Custard. You're Mom's little knight. The cat, somewhat shyly, turned its butt towards me. Ahem, Cat isn't that amazing, Cat is just a little better than Dad. Within 3 days, the police delivered the verdict. Combined offenses, 1 month detention, and a fine of $20,000. I reported this to my department manager, and she even helped me apply for compensation to get a new phone. My relationship with Evan remained in this ambiguous, lukewarm state. Until this business trip, the destination was my hometown, and my manager allowed me to visit my family after work was done. As the project manager, Evan was on the trip, along with 2 other colleagues. When I went with Evan to his place to pack, I heard the cat excitedly say, "Great! Are Mom and Dad finally going to do the boom 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 thing?" Cat knows, Mom's belly will get a big bump, and Cat will have a little sister or brother. Cat's hard work matchmaking Mom and Dad is finally paying off. They're going to make it. Custard, you. Oh well, little cats just don't understand adult matters. Sometimes, even if 2 people like each other, it doesn't mean they can be together. The adult world isn't just about feelings. My colleague Alex and I were assigned to the same room. What's good to eat and fun to do around your hometown? Quick, make me a guide. No problem. After 2 days of running around for business, every time Evan tried to talk to me, someone interrupted. Although I did wonder if he wanted to talk about what happened back then. But then I thought, maybe I was just being sentimental. Perhaps what the cat said wasn't even true. After all, cats can't read. Between Evan and me, maybe it was just a case of having a connection but no destiny. In about 3 days, we sealed the deal. With 2 days left, Alex and Chloe wanted to use the guide I made to explore. I raised an eyebrow. So, you 2 aren't taking Evan? Alex said, he's like an iceberg, never says a word. Are we supposed to use him as a human air conditioner? Chloe added, do you think he looks like someone who would hang out with us? Although I silently defended him a little in my head, Evan really did give off that impression at work. Serious and unsmiling. Strictly business. But he wasn't like that at all in college. Why had he changed so much? When I got home that afternoon, my mom had cooked a feast for me. As I was happily eating, she watched me with a smile that looked like she was up to something. Could this lavish meal be a trap? How's work going? I chewed on a rib. It's good. My mom put a chicken wing on my plate. Are there any suitable guys you're seeing? Evan's face flashed in my mind. I shook my head. No. My mom's mood changed faster than flipping a book. She slammed her chopsticks down. I knew it. You're 28 this year. When are you going to bring home a son-in-law to make your mom happy? I pouted and ignored her. I had just picked up a piece of tofu when she slammed the table again, making it fall. Look at you, you've always been good at everything, so why can't you find a boyfriend? I don't think you're even trying. I sighed and told her. Mom, you can't force matters of the heart. My mom resorted to a guilt trip. After your dad passed away, you're the only thing on my mind. I chewed and replied. Don't you often play mahjong with your old lady friends? My mom changed her tactic. I can't sleep at night, I toss and turn, just hoping you'll find a good man, a good home. Dr. Katie prescribed her a remedy. Mom, if you really can't sleep, maybe you should get a night job. Your 50s are still a great age to strive. The government is even delaying retirement. You'd be supporting a national policy. My mom, exasperated, said. I don't care. Anyway, I had your aunt find you 2 blind dates, you better go have dinner with them tomorrow. Sitting face to face with a strange man, a lot of thoughts flashed through my mind. When the man told me he'd be the breadwinner, I'd be the homemaker, he'd give me $2,000 a month, and I'd have to give him 2 chubby sons, I couldn't take it anymore. I sent a text to Alex. Help me. I'm on a blind date, just call me. I put my phone face down on the table. I forced a smile at the man. Dude, are you dreaming in broad daylight? How many peanuts did you have to get this drunk? The man didn't get angry, instead, he said reasonably. I know you young women in your 20s are proud that we can still negotiate the terms. I cupped my fists. No need, man, that I'm not good enough for you, hope you find someone better. I couldn't help but glance at my phone. Why wasn't Alex calling me? Was she having too much fun with Chloe to check her phone? That glance was a mistake, a big one. How did I send that message to Evan? And it had been more than 2 minutes, I couldn't unsend it. The man was still rambling on in front of me. You shouldn't feel too bad about yourself, that I think our situations are quite compatible, that if you agree, I can offer an engagement gift of $88,000, that you're already 28, almost an old maid. On the dating market, this price is pretty good. First, a pair of shiny black leather shoes came into view. My gaze moved up to an excellent waist-to-hip ratio, an impeccably tailored suit, and a face that could command $50,000 a night if he were for sale. It was Evan. He took out a card and placed it in front of the man. There's $100,000 in here, give me this seat. The man's expression changed rapidly. I guess I can give you the seat, but you have to tell me the PIN first. Just as I was about to protest, Evan put a hand on my shoulder, exuding a strong sense of pressure. The PIN is 4 zeros, now scram. The man scurried away, leaving me fuming. Evan, are you crazy? You just gave him $100,000? Do you have too much money and nowhere to spend it? But Evan looked calm. Nope, there isn't $100,000 in the card. I was bluffing. I think there's only a few $100 in there. And the PIN isn't 4 zeros either, only an idiot would set a PIN like that. I stared for a few seconds, then couldn't help but laugh. It had been a long time since I'd seen him this boyish. Really? Then why did you act like, take this card and leave my woman, just now? Evan also seemed amused. Isn't that how it always goes in TV shows? I just wanted to try it. The moment our eyes met, I suddenly felt my heart pound violently. It was as if we were back in college, without the worries of making a living or the future, where just seeing each other's smiles brought immense joy. When did you get here? When that guy said he could offer an $88,000 engagement gift. I hadn't been paying close attention, but I hadn't expected Evan to catch that. I was just humoring my mom that I didn't really want to go on a blind date. Evan cut me off, his gaze intense. Katie, what are your real standards then? What kind of person do you like? Do you think I have a chance? Seeing he was serious, I crossed my legs and leaned back slightly. Mr. Miller, don't we still have some unresolved issues from the past? Okay, I'll be completely honest with you right now. Suddenly, another man approached our table, holding a phone and asking me. Hello, are you Ms. Katie Evans? I'm your blind date. The air froze for a few seconds. Evan's eyebrow twitched, his gaze sharp as he stared at the newcomer. I smiled politely. Sorry, I've already hit it off with the previous gentleman, so that's it for today. The man walked away, muttering curses. Hearing me say that, Evan felt a little relieved. Your aunt is pretty efficient, she found you too, just in case one didn't work out. I blinked. If you don't hurry up, there might be a third, and a fourth. In my senior year of college, my mom was suddenly diagnosed with breast cancer. The family urgently needed money, but my dad took all our valuables and ran off. I was shaken. He had only said one sentence, and my heart already ached. Then I tried to borrow money from relatives. When my mom was healthy, everyone was eager to associate with her, thinking I had a bright future. After she got sick, everyone avoided us like the plague. Only a few relatives helped out, but cancer isn't something that can be cured overnight, so I took a year off from school, worked 2 jobs a day, paying off debts and paying for my mom's treatment. During that year off, I was afraid of dragging you down, so I chose not to tell you that I felt you deserved a better man, someone with a good family background, looks, everything that I secretly buried my feelings for you that summer. Later, when I returned to school, I found out you had gotten into grad school and had a new boyfriend. Then I found Custard, who had just been born and abandoned on the roadside, that I got a job at a company and worked my way up to where I am today. Transferring to your company as a project manager was something I actively pursued because I heard from my college roommate that you were here. I never dreamed of getting back together with you, that I just wanted to be closer to you, that if you were doing well, I would stay away, that if you weren't, I wanted to fight for myself one last time. After all, I've liked you for 9 years. Some people were jealous of my success, secretly tampering with my applications, trying to pull me down into the abyss. Others were afraid of burdening me, solving everything alone, and only coming to me when everything was settled and they were clean. I turned my head to wipe away my tears. Even though I knew he must have had his reasons, I never imagined he had suffered so much all these years. How is your aunt doing now? Evan looked like he had finally overcome his hardships. She's considered clinically cured, but there's still a possibility of recurrence as she gets older. Evan, you really underestimated me. If you had told me about this, I might not have been unwilling to go through hardship with you. In the darkest time of your life, I wish I could have been by your side. Evan shook his head. Even if you were willing, I couldn't let you. I couldn't bear to see you suffer with me. You should choose a better person and live a better life. I scoffed. Then why did you come back now? Evan said shamelessly. Because now I realize I'm barely good enough for you, Katie. I like you, and I've resolved the past issues. So, can I pursue you? I said firmly. No. Evan's expression instantly froze. No? I stood up and touched his face. Honey, what I mean is, you don't need to pursue me, because I agree. Let's be together. Evan had taken Custard to the neighborhood vet clinic. When we video called Dr. Hughes, Custard was still happily playing with a tuxedo cat. Custard was seen awkwardly sitting on the tuxedo cat. Then the tuxedo cat swatted him away with one paw. I facepalmed and smiled wryly, asking Evan. You didn't get Custard neutered? Evan looked embarrassed too, saying sheepishly. Custard is a female cat that I was worried neutering would harm her health, so I didn't. It seemed that while we were on our business trip, Custard was having a blast with her new friend. I couldn't hear her thoughts through the screen. On the last day of the business trip, I took Evan home for dinner to reassure my mom. As a result, Evan showed up as if he were proposing, with a trunk full of gifts. My mom was aghast. A blind date yesterday, and engaged today? I explained. That's not it at all. He's my senior from college and also my current boss. My mom slapped my arm. Look at you, child, you have a boyfriend and didn't tell me sooner. Now I owe your aunt a favor. Evan quickly spoke up for me. Ma'am, it's not Katie's fault that I was too slow and didn't give Katie enough reassurance. After learning about Evan's family situation, my mom slapped her thigh. Oh, that's fine. Why don't we have your mom move in with me? We can look after each other. Evan and I exchanged a smile. I whispered in his ear. I told you my mom was more open-minded than you thought, right? When asked about Evan's living situation, he took out his phone and showed my mom pictures of Custard. My mom had a big reaction when she saw the photos. I know this dog. Is it a corgi? One of my mahjong buddies has one, so chubby and friendly. Evan, forcing himself, said. Ma'am, this is my cat. Katie has seen her a few times too. My mom laughed it off. I've never seen such a fat cat before. It's very cute. You can tell Evan takes good care of it. He's got a good heart. Custard, kind words build good karma. Harsh words hurt a cat's feelings. After we got back, Evan and I decided to move in together. We were in the same neighborhood anyway, so moving was convenient. My apartment didn't stay empty. I rented it out for some extra income. In the latter half of the year, our mothers met and hit it off immediately, arranging our engagement. Since my family was better off, my mom had a pension, and my dad had saved a lot of money for us before he passed. Evan's mother always felt like her son was marrying into our family and was incredibly accommodating to me. On our wedding day, we decided to have Custard be the ring bearer. The familiar voice sounded again. Thanks to Kat, Mom and Dad finally got their happily ever after. Kat is happy, people are happy. Kat is going to reward herself with 3 cans of food today. Epilogue. My name is Custard that I am a cat. After being picked up by this quiet man, I found his life very dull. Besides hunting for cat food cans on time every day, he just looked at a woman in a little black box. Sometimes he smiled, sometimes he cried. Sometimes he just stared blankly, lost in thought. Cat is an expert in human nature. Big Tabby told Cat this is called love. Love makes people cry and laugh. Dad often cries in his dreams. Cat doesn't know if it's because of Mom. Cat would give Dad a couple of thumps to wake him up. That woman had a very sweet smile, Cat liked it. And Big Tabby said she was a good person, often feeding stray cats and dogs, so she would definitely be nice to Cat. If the woman and Dad got together, Cat would have a mom. So, Cat decided to help Dad find love. But Cat didn't know where to find Mom. Cat asked Big Tabby, and Big Tabby asked all the stray brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, and cousins in the neighborhood. Finally, they concluded, Mom lives in the same neighborhood as Cat. But Mom left early and came back late, making her hard to catch. So, Cat practiced backflips at home every day, because Dad's little black box said that if Cat learned to do a backflip, she would come. Until one late night, while Dad was asleep. Big Tabby climbed to the window and signaled Cat to go find Mom. The window was sealed, so Cat opened the door like Dad did, and then closed it again. Cat followed Big Tabby all the way to find Mom, even tumbling twice along the way. Once everything was ready, Big Tabby retreated. Cat started doing backflips. Even though Cat was dizzy and her limbs were weak from flipping. Cat firmly believed. Hard work pays off for a determined cat. Where there's a will, there's a way for a cat. If Cat learns to do a backflip, Cat can bring Mom home. When the woman got closer, Cat realized she wasn't even impressed by Cat's backflips. So, Cat's brain went into overdrive, remembering other tricks Big Tabby had taught. Big Tabby said strays used this routine to beg for food. First, rub against the woman's pant leg, then roll around beside her, and finally, purr loudly. With this smooth little combo. Human, you must be completely mesmerized by me now. But then Cat heard the woman's cold words striking her eardrums. Little cat, what's wrong? Do you have fleas? How could she be so unromantic? Darn it, Cat was out of ideas. But then the woman asked if Cat was lost. Right, if Cat pretended to be lost, she would take Cat home. So, Cat went along with it. The woman carried Cat past several buildings. Cat almost fell asleep. But at the last moment, Cat suddenly woke up, jumped into the elevator, and led Mom to Dad. To repay Big Tabby, Cat even gave Big Tabby one of her own cans of food. But Mom bought Cat lots more cans later. Mom is good, Cat is good too.